Okay, let's see here. I should be live on YouTube. Ben, what you can do is crisp noise suppression.
Okay, hopefully that's. I'm gonna turn it on. Although the quality might drop. Okay, so I just turned it on. Is the quality still good?
It is good. When you get
Yeah.
loud, it gets a little bit high latency.
When I get
It gets a little bit like, when you get loud. But
oh, okay.
can do is crisp. Let's don't talk for a minute. I just want to make sure I can hear everybody good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. I should be live on YouTube. Ben, what you can do is crisp noise suppression.
Okay, hopefully that's. I'm gonna turn it on. Although the quality might drop. Okay, so I just turned it on. Is the quality still good?
It is good. When you get
Yeah.
loud, it gets a little bit. Steven, say something actually.
When I get
Testing.
bit loud.
1 2 1 2.
Okay, Ben, talk again. When you get loud, but
testing 1 2 3 1 2 3.
let's don't talk. Okay,
Okay.
we already have 3 viewers
I'm
in
gonna
here.
turn it on.
Yo, let's
Although
go.
the quality might drop. Okay, so I just turned it.
Oh, there is a big delay though. That's the only thing. So just give me 1 second just to make sure the delay is good. Say something. There will be a delay between the streams, so that's just what I want to make sure
Testing.
is fine.
1 2 1 2. Yeah, no problem.
Okay,
I think
Ben,
that's
talk again. When you get, but
I think that's to be
Testing.
expected.
3 1 2 3.
we already have. Okay, we already have 3 viewers in here.
Turn it on.
Yo, let's go.
Although the quality might drop.
The stream, by the way, I think we're good. Everybody else is. You can hear everybody, right? Just give me 1 second just to make sure the delay is good. All right, cool. All right, I'm ready to get started if you guys are, and maybe some of y'all, if let me know if the audio, if anybody's too quiet, just let me know in the chat. I'll have it up, so I'll just play with it if anything goes wrong. But you guys are good now, Ben and Steven.
Oh yeah. I'm ready.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. All right, so you want to just pull up the episode essentially
Sure.
and just go through it.
I like that idea.
Okay. Awesome. So let's do that then. All right. Display capture. Here we go. All right. You guys can see it, right?
Yeah,
I
I
guess-
can see it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep,
cool.
I see
We're
it
not
too.
going to have audio because of the copyright strikes. So I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that, guys. But other than that, we should be good. All right. So maybe I'll skip the recap, honestly.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll just skip around to a few scenes. So
Mhm.
my first thoughts on this episode were, at least we see the Mandalorian actually pretty early on, and I'm like, oh, so I guess he's making a cameo. That's kind of expected with the theme music from the last one, right?
Right.
Steven, you there?
I am here, yes.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, so he comes in. He's okay, so pause right here for me.
Okay.
So first thing, he's in like a standard sort of butchery place that you'd see on Earth, and I don't know. I just thought that was kind of like it just looks like like it's identical to like an Earth butcher shop, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would expect that there would be like a spacey, you know, spin.
I mean,
on
are we gonna nitpick that?
but you know what I mean, you know.
Yeah.
That really didn't stand out to me as much as it clearly did to you. So I do apologize.
I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was like, wow, like this guy is just like this could be on Earth, you know. Like I don't know.
Okay, I feel bad for pausing it for that.
I mean, I kind of see what you mean, but
I-
I didn't really think too much of it either. But
Okay, so he walks in.
Yep.
yeah, standard bounty hunter stuff, looking for the
Yes.
bounty, and then there's the chase scene, I guess, chasing the bounty.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, give me 1 second here. The stream.
Or-
There we go.
Mando acting in character.
Yep, I was
I
actually
think,
really happy to see that. That the Mandalorian was actually being a bounty hunter for
yeah,
once.
I was about to say acting in
Yes.
character of a bounty hunter.
Like I thought that's what we were doing.
I thought
Like
that's what we were doing in the original show.
yeah. All right. So he
It's
outsmarts
kind of
him. He's
funny.
like, this is
Yeah.
clearly you.
It doesn't even look like me.
Anyway, he comes here. This kind of starts off the same way the Mandalorian 1 started off in a way. I don't know.
A
if
little
you-
bit.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
It kind of throws back to that. And at this point, I knew he was gonna beat the crap out of everybody. Like when he says you're surrounded,
Well, I mean, he's like basically invincible, right? He's got
I mean-
best armor on.
and he has those whistling thingies,
The small missile things. The
which is
whole-
like
And he's got a dark saber.
yeah,
which
and
I
that
didn't
shows-
know he had, honestly. So spoiler. He's like, I can bring you in cold. He said the thing. That guy bites him, and he just
Yeah.
butts. This fight scene was phenomenal, right?
and,
Wait. Well, I would actually. Well, okay. So
Okay, let's.
wait. So okay. So all right.
You want to pause and
Pause. Wait. I'll let you know when to. Oh, okay. So yeah, you can pause right here. So
Okay.
okay. Already, this action is much more visceral than anything in Book of Boba Fett.
right.
100%.
The dark saber, like so casually going through the dead meat. If you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like that. Like so, I was like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah, and the people in
how-
the live meet too. This scene was
Yeah.
kind of
And
brutal.
alive me.
Yeah. However, I do have a criticism, and it's coming up in like a couple seconds.
Okay, I guess what I mean by phenomenal, and just to clarify my statement, so it's incredibly violent, which is kind of what we wanted to see for Star Wars. Yeah, like you said, it's better than Book of Boba Fett, anything we've seen in Book of Boba Fett. And it's kind of cool that you see him not using the Darksaber as skilled as like a Jedi would.
Okay, so right here, so he injures himself, right?
Yeah.
But I just think it's like, well, can you pause real quick?
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, during this entire exchange,
Mhm.
he's probably taken over a dozen blaster bolts, and not a single one has hit an unarmored part of him. And yet, like, the only damage he sustains is damage that he does to himself. So I don't know. I just think that's like I think that's a criticism I have.
Well, he has the strongest type of armor, Beskar and plot armor.
It doesn't surround him completely though, and
He also has plot armor. You forgot about that.
yeah, I know, but I can criticize that. That's fine.
I think that's a fair criticism. I guess the only thing I will say is that a lot of the people might have I guess we could say that the first instinct is to aim for the head and the chest. And so when you got this guy running at you with a Darksaber...
Not if they're wearing the armor though.
Right, but maybe, they're butchers. They're just simple people. And it's like, also keep in mind, this guy's moving fast and there's only a couple of spots where he doesn't have armor, really.
Dude, wait, no. Like, there's several times in the beginning of this exchange where they very clearly have time to line up shots, and they shoot specifically at his armor. So go back, like, you can go back to the beginning. So, like, right here. Like he doesn't shoot him, like, in his legs, or,
Okay.
you see? Like he's had so much time right here.
Right.
You know what
But
I'm
I
saying?
guess we could say it's instinct there.
See, again, like a second volley,
Okay.
I
I think that's too nitpicky for me, but I respect your criticism.
But what I was gonna say is that because initially it bothered me that, wait a minute, did he just hit himself with a sword? I thought this guy was like a galaxy class bounty hunter. What is going on? But I realized that the second half of the show is to prove the point that he's having difficulty wielding it. And then regarding the armor, what I noticed is that the armor is probably good for external damage. The way that he injured himself with the Darksaber, it was kind of more from the inside, whereas his armor is kind of like a shell, and you know how the shell leaves the inside kind of exposed. So the way that he pulled the sword out, I mean, yeah, maybe it seems a little bit contrived, but I also know that they're trying to show the point that his inability to wield the Darksaber correctly can cost him. In other words, like, there's something or a skill he has not yet attained. I mean, he was still able to do the mission successfully because he's just that good. But there's something lacking or missing for
Yeah.
him now. So that's kind of how
So,
I interpreted
so
it.
yeah, so I definitely like I have no problem with him like learning how to use the dark saber and making mistakes like that.
Hmm.
My critique is um like if he's so easily
Hmm.
to harm himself, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
like like easily, why wouldn't other people who are literally trying to kill him be able to target those vulnerable spots, you know? Like so another thing is you mentioned earlier that it comes from the inside. Like I'm not really sure what you mean because the damage that he sustains could have
Hmm.
easily have happened from a blaster bolt. Easily.
Well, what I mean is that because it was already in his like he's wielding the sword, so that's kind of
Like he
um
hits the side of his leg in a place that might, and the places where he doesn't have the armor is a little bit hard to hit, especially when this guy is moving. And
right.
also the human eye tend not these aren't humans, but their
Well,
eyes tend to
well,
focus
sure,
on.
but like, look at his okay, like in this frame, like
Hmm.
he's not wearing like a full plate, like a plate mail,
No,
like a
yeah, like his elbows are
like his
exposed. You're
elbows
right.
are vulnerable, like his there's things in his chest, like even his neck is
Not his
vulnerable. You know?
chest,
Yeah,
but
I
No,
kind of
look at the side of his rib cage.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, the
I
side of
mean,
his
the,
rib
the
cage.
thing is that he knows his weak points better than anyone, and if he's had this armor, like if he's trained with it, you can kind of track a blaster with your eye. So if he knows how to move just a few centimeters or whatever, so that that blaster hits the armor, that's different from if you don't expect your dark saber to be like that heavy when you're yanking it out of the
Yeah,
person. So I think I do see what you're saying because I wrote that down as like a question. Like, okay, that seems a little sketch. Why is he injuring himself? He's the one to injure himself, but not these other guys. But let's say he did not have the dark saber. I still don't think too many shots, if any, would have gotten through because I think he's just that used to, his experience in terms of knowing, okay, I'm going to move like this, so the blaster gets deflected
right. And even in
from
the
the armor.
first scene, he's kind of crouched
you,
over, so he's hiding parts of his armor, like that they
Hmm.
can't really shoot him. Like he knows, like at this point, like see how he's moving. He's kind of like moving in a way to make it difficult for them. And see, like
not really. No, like in that scene right there, he doesn't move tactfully. Like he just tanks those blaster shots right there.
well, that's kind of the tactful point.
Yeah, they might not know that Beskar
See,
is not that
See,
effective.
wait, time out. So like okay, so right here, everybody in the room sees this guy just unload like 10 different shots into him, and
Mhm.
like oh okay,
okay, but
so
his back is pretty covered, and if he puts his neck close to his jetpack, there's a very small window for him to hit.
but it's not just his neck though.
Well, for the most part,
No, what do you mean? Okay, in this shot right here, like you have his elbows are vulnerable. Okay, well I can't really see much from this frame right here because he's not in
right?
frame, but
Okay.
so here again, like he like exclusively shoots him in the head
Someone in the
when
comments just said, "You gotta face it, Mando's a scrub."
wait what?
Somebody said, "You just gotta face it, Mando's a scrub."
Dude, in some ways he is, honestly. And
I
there's,
don't.
and there's a scene going to your see like right here. Like why are you shooting his like one of the his only invulnerable places? Like go back.
Okay, can
Go back right here.
can we
Look here.
can we move on from this one scene though? Like I get what you're saying,
Okay.
but I get what also Ben's saying. So I think there's a steady middle ground here, but I think that it's thought provoking both sides of that.
I do not think like it's well reasoned that he's moving in tactfully to position his body to get hit in certain
Yeah,
areas. I do
I
not.
I will say that if I were going to be really critical and if I wanted this scene to be like absolutely spectacular, I would agree. I would say that I would want a little bit more realism there, but I almost feel like you can kind of give it the Star Wars pass where it's like these trained stormtroopers can't hit anything for their lives, and these guys, I don't know how trained they are, so you can kind of ration away
Yeah, if they're
the
butchers and they
those
just happen to have blasters,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I do see that, and if you're looking for like something that's really refined, yeah, I would consider that kind of like a bit of a tick against it.
Well,
That,
I mean, the only reason, yeah, like the only
Mhm.
reason I brought up that tangent is because you said that he was positioning himself tactfully to like block the shots, but and my whole thing was based on this scene. That's not what he does. Like it's more like he makes it out of here more due to his enemy's incompetence than. I mean, obviously he's got like really broken weapons and stuff, and he's a skilled fighter
This
too.
is like when you go into like when you go back to do like the first mission when you've unlocked everything, like all the abilities.
It is kind of like that
Like
actually.
he's facing like okay, I think that Ben made an excellent point on this, and we could say that they're scrubs. Like they are just really low level enemies that are really bad. And that's why he's able to body them so easily, even while he's fighting in the Darksaber. That they don't know better than to aim for his other body parts. And yes, you could say you have to be stupid to do that, but these aren't exactly like the most skilled thugs. And I think that could be an argument.
Okay.
I think that if we put it that way, and it's kind of maybe meant to show that even if he's having a hard time, he's still with the armor protection and then his Darksaber and all the broken weapons that he has, it's easy for him to body them. So I think maybe that's like an argument, but I see like there are parts where he could hit. Yes.
Yeah, because I technically, what I will say is that if he were surrounded as he was, even with the armor, I would still, try to be a bit more like, okay, I should probably not be in the center and just tank everything, be a bit more strategic. And because he kind of got away with it in the scene, if you were looking for, if you were looking for more agility or, getting out of the center or trying not to get shot, it would definitely raise a question like, okay, why is he just kind of just standing there and just tanking them? Shouldn't he be a bit
Right.
more careful?
And
Mhm.
remember, like he also has that scene in season 2 of Mando where he literally runs down the hallway tanking
Mhm.
like 10 different stormtroopers blaster. You remember that scene when they're on the
Yes, I do remember that scene.
yeah, so that kind of gives me ammo in saying no, like it's not him tactfully moving his
But
body.
once again, the
Like,
stormtroopers are notorious for not aiming, and
and
also he
yet,
was.
like almost every blaster that they shot at him, every blaster bullet hit him. It just managed to hit him in a part that was covered by his armor.
Well, that's the point. But also, he was hunched over. Whatever. Somebody Lemoners and I don't know if you know him, but he
I'm
says
just saying.
Steven, you're what? He
I said,
says
I said, wait, what you say?
this guy named Lemoners in the comments says Steven, you're nitpicking the choreography a bit too hard.
Hey man, I can criticize if I want to.
Sure. Okay, but let's move on to the next scene.
All right,
Nonetheless,
let's go.
I did love this scene that there was a lot of violence here.
Yes,
That
so
we expected. The carnage was great, and then
yes.
this how he stabs him with essentially something, and then splits him in half on the table. I was like, holy moly, he is not playing.
So now we can talk about like the pros. So I totally agree with you. Like I think it's the most visceral that we've seen in this show by far. Which is refreshing because oh my god, like the rest of this show is just so sanitized. It's ridiculous.
Like, there's no fight scenes for the most part, and the ones that are in there are pretty dumb.
And it's very light. Like the violence is like oh my god, it's like rated G or something.
Right. And then what I will say on this note is that this was kind of cool because this scene, I like what they did with it. This first, like, what, 5 minutes already explains what happened with the Darksaber, what Mando's been up to since Baby Yoda or Grogu is gone. Like, it tells us that he's still a bounty hunter. Now he's working for someone. He has the Darksaber. Bo-Katan did not get it. And so that kind of answers a couple of questions. Wow. It says stream suspended for policy violations. What the heck? What the heck?
Oh, that sucks.
What on earth? Why? Until what point? It stopped like right as he came out of the thing. As the guy ran away.
Maybe the watermark is needed.
Maybe it is needed. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put our watermark on it. Oopsies.
Yeah. That'll do it.
I forgot to put that on. Let's see. Let's see if it comes back. I can't believe that they actually check like that. So it is the video too, in a way. Let's see here.
Ooh, they added like a drop of blood there on the head.
Did they?
Yeah. Like it,
let's
like
see,
as
did the
it's
stream
as
come
it's
back?
holding it.
What are the policies? Like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
Can you turn into the stream and see if you can hear it? At least.
Yeah, Jerry, someone said the stream. Hold on, let me hop over the other one, the canteen.
Stream
Probably,
unavailable.
yeah, probably because you're playing the show.
I know,
I mean,
which
I'm
is
I'm
crazy.
guessing the way they check is, I don't know, whatever algorithm that checks for.
So this makes me think that it's gonna have to be like we're not gonna be able to stream the entire episode and talk about it. We're gonna have to
Maybe
we will
stream clips of it.
Interrupt or something.
Right.
well,
I mean, you guys can see what's happening on the screen though in Discord.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean, I
I
guess
put the picture back, honestly. So I put the
the
picture
viewers
back.
can use their imagination.
I mean, honestly. Let's see here. Let me see how much I can put on it watermark wise. Let's see if it comes back now.
Do you have a certain number of strikes
suspended?
before? Do you have a certain number of strikes before they do something more drastic?
No.
Okay. Educate the viewers. Restrictions on live stream.
Okay, it came back. It came back. No. Like, as in it's suspended, as in like they won't show the video.
Right.
so they just hear us right now?
No. Let me see. Oh wow, so they completely turned off the audio for like 3 minutes. They muted the stream completely on top of that. Interesting.
Also,
That is disappointing. I wonder if we put this watermark over it, if it'll change things.
I think it's gonna have to be a combination of things like Mahler's video. We're going to have to.
Because I'm not like, this is not a replacement for watching the episode.
What do you say?
This is not a replacement for watching the episode either. So it's not like.
Well, it depends. It could be.
I mean, I guess without the watermark, it is like in a way.
Even with the watermark, because how like Mahler gets away with it is it's edited, and it's like he turns it into original content. He turns the reaction into original. Content.
That's what we're doing here.
Not really. We're streaming it one for one. They do not stream it one for one. They stream highlights of it. Well, so they don't stream it live, is what I'm saying. They record it, they make an edited version, and then they release that.
Oh, use that.
But I know like some people do this, like Star Wars Theory or stuff. So, but also I don't think we need to watch the whole episode to get what we want from it anyway.
I mean, honestly, you could do still frames. I mean, I don't know if
we could do that. Yeah, that.
Also, look, I just added a new watermark to it, so it might change things. I think with the watermarks, because if you cover up the screen, well, we'll see. I'm gonna keep watching it and see. There's like 4 or 5 people tuning in, so say something in the chat if everything's good so far.
I did want to say though, as a pro for this episode, this entire thing with like the Halo ring, I thought was very cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was refreshing that we were off that godforsaken, boring sand planet and doing some interesting things. Like the design of this place is fantastic, and you can very clearly tell that this basically everything that happens in this episode is the production of it is way higher than Book of Boba.
Like as in like effects or
what you say?
Like as an effects, screenwriting.
Yeah, like you can tell visually that they
Mhm.
just spent way more money on this episode. Like it looks better. Um, like the production value of it. Like Book of Boba Fett looks cheap compared to
I
this.
mean, I think they both look cool, but yeah, I do see what you're saying to an extent. The effects look really awesome, and
It looks like
then
like when I see this, I'm like, oh, this is what they were working on. Like this is what the A team was working on, and Book of Boba is like a B
un-
team side project.
unfortunately,
Is what it feels like because it looks nothing like this, man. Like when you and you can tell in even in this episode, like after he goes back to Tatooine and he meets Fennec, the quality drops instantly and
I'm
significantly.
not. I I didn't even notice that to that extent, but yes, this ring planet is actually pretty awesome, and I
Dude,
added
it's
2 new
crazy.
watermarks to it, so that might fix it because at that no, it did it again. Immediately it went back down. No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Saw this planet, I was like, wow, what an original, very creative idea.
Literally,
Yeah.
stop
And I
talking
think in
because the
terms,
stream went down again.
okay.
I'm really surprised by this. Very disappointed, honestly.
I mean,
Yeah,
people got to make their money.
we're gonna have to get educated on the rules and go in like well informed. So
I mean, to be honest, I don't mind not doing a play-by-play of like every scene because then, that kind of takes a
It's
while.
not gonna last at all. Actually, honestly, it's not gonna
What is?
last. Like we can't even play a scene at a time.
Oh, you can't. Oh, so you can't even do still frames. Like keep it
Like,
on
we can do
pause.
still frames. Wait 1 second. But let's see if my stream gets like muted for like um.
yeah, and also it's after 10 o'clock. It's late.
All right. We started late.
True.
Tell me what you want to do. I don't want to keep you.
Um, I want to get ready for bed soon, and then maybe what we can do is, we can, well, you can take the time to like become knowledgeable on what their rules are and
I
everything
mean,
like
honestly, we can just do what we did last time, and it's just like talk about it without the scenes playing.
that. Yeah, we could do that.
So I don't mind. I do want to get through this before. It's up to you though, but I do want to get through it before.
Well, I really don't have like time like that. I mean, I wanted to be in bed at 9:30. I extended it because I know we were running late, but now these shenanigans is happening, and it's just like we've been spending a lot of time. I don't know if you realize it, but we've been spending a lot of time to like troubleshoot this.
Yeah,
Like we would have been a lot further along had it not come up.
I know. Tell me about it. I mean, this is the last stream violation we'll get because I'm not gonna allow it to happen. Like, I'm just not gonna play the clip at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay. Well, what we could do is
What I'm thinking is if we're not going to do anything with the clip, my initial idea was just to talk about some scenes that we thought were significant. I have kind of a list here. And maybe we could just do episode 5, but if that may still take too long, then maybe we can plan something else.
okay. How about this? I'll give it another 10 minutes. What we can do is let's go in stills in like one frame, and let's talk about like the scene, the scenes as they come.
okay, we're back. We are back. We're back. I'm not gonna get suspended again.
That's my proposition.
Okay, we're back. We're back. All right. So
Mhm.
I think that we should kind of skip a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
Just say,
Yeah, we already talked about the
there's
replant.
most of the people have seen this movie. I mean, the show. So what happened was, the next part, he just gets his money and runs. Essentially, he wants to get out of there. He wants to get healed because he's in excruciating pain from the Darksaber. Right? He gets to his armorer. We find that she's still alive and well. And then we found out that the other guy is from House Vizsla as well. What is that guy?
You played it. Don't play it.
Well, I'm not playing it on the stream. I'm just playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I'm not risking it. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna have to figure out how, the policy violations, stuff like that. But So we found that out, which is kind of interesting, and I could kind of see a little bit of tension building from Paz Vizsla.
So for me, for this scene, I was kind of wondering why the whole Creed thing was significant. I guess I struggled a little bit with getting back into that Mandalorian Creed because it just seemed a little bit like outdated compared to what's at stake and how the galaxy has changed. So that's the only thing. But I mean, I can respect that it's their tradition and stuff. But there aren't too many members remaining either. So it's like, well, why would you hold on to this
Dude,
thing?
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like the fact that there's only 3 left, and she's asking questions like, "Have you removed your helmet?"
Yeah.
Well,
And
you're
then he's
no
an
longer
outcast after that.
you're no longer a Mandalorian because you removed your helmet. Like, first of all, like, of course he removes his helmet. He has to eat. He has to
Yeah.
shower. Like, what do you mean? Like, what if you're in a battle and it falls off during a battle? Like, are you not a Mandalorian then? Like,
Yeah.
so I think that rule is so dumb. Honestly,
I get it.
Like even more so that there's only 3 of them left. So you would think that.
And
Yeah.
like Bo-Katan, for example, who's considered not a real Mandalorian.
Yeah. So that I think this whole that whole thing is.
Yeah, I can't really connect with that that tension there.
I mean, I think that was kind of the point in a way. But also, for what it's worth, the fact that he didn't kill the guy, that would have been... I wish he did kill the guy, because Moff Gideon will be back now.
It's been... I don't know if you're, like, monitoring how it's playing, but I don't want it to go down again.
No, it won't. It's, like I said, it's not on the... Only you guys are seeing it, not
Yeah,
the...
he's only putting on Discord. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we ain't messing with Disney again.
All right.
Yeah, so that's
They
the end of that scene pretty much.
Right, but I thought it was also cool how she talks about the original Jedi Mandalorian who owned the Darksaber. I just thought that was kind of for me as a Star Wars lore, because I was like learning about it a while ago, and I found that really cool.
True, yeah.
And also he forges something for Grogu, so we know he's gonna try to find Grogu. Like,
Oh yeah, the bombing. See,
yeah, like the bombing scene of
this
Mandalore.
This was cool. Like so when I see stuff like this, I'm like, okay, like you could.
This is Star Wars lore.
So, okay, you could work with this. Like this is something you can work with. When I see Book of Boba, like there is nothing to work with. Like it's just
I see the difference. Yeah. One is a lot more small scale.
Which is hilarious because like he's the name of the show.
Yeah. I also one interpretation is that it's kind of building up towards something. So maybe that's why
Which
it's like
should have been
exposition.
happening from the start.
Yeah, it's not as it doesn't draw me in as much the build up phase for Book of Boba. But
well, it's hilarious because when I see this episode, I'm like, did they accidentally play the first episode of Mandalorian season 3?
I know, that's what I'm. And so here I was like watching how slow the pacing was for this. At this point, like 17, 20 minutes into it, I started to think, oh, like, is like Boba Fett not gonna appear in his own show? Like, we're totally like derailing.
And he doesn't in this episode, and it's the best episode so far. So what does that tell you?
I know, it's just sad because it's not, and like we said, Boba Fett was better in The Mandalorian.
100%.
100%. But also,
even how he like the production value of him, like his outfit, like his special effects, everything was way higher. And that's why when I watch this, I'm like, this absolutely feels like something from Mando season 3, and then they put it in Book of Boba. That's what it feels like. It almost feels like the fans just got so pissed. The production value and the way that it's directed is way higher and much better.
100%. And also keep in mind, Boba Fett, like the fact that I was actually gonna say, just like I agree with that, and also they're adding original Star Wars lore. I almost feel like the fans got pissed at Boba Fett, and so they released this instead.
I mean, I would almost believe that, but I'm pretty sure they've had to have made these episodes long in advance because there's too much production value to make it the next week.
Right.
It's hilarious because everything like you're gonna see it. Like once we get to the end of the episode and he lands on Tatooine and he meets Fennec, the production quality instantly drops. So it makes me think that they filmed that scene later, when they were preparing Book of Boba. You know what I mean? Whereas this scene was filmed with the intent of it being in Mando. That's
Oh,
how
I
I
wonder
feel.
if that's a possibility. Yeah, that's an interesting
I
point.
think
Yeah.
that is an interesting take. Also, for what it's worth, I saw the tension building up between Paz Vizsla and Mandalorian, but I just felt like that was one thing where I thought it was really unnecessary and dumb
Oh
Oh,
because
yeah,
I
you
just
think
felt like it was. I just felt like it. Like I get it. Like I could see it because of the way that they set it up. But I almost just feel like these guys were friends. They were like he saved his life. You know, remember he came in, the heavy Mandalorian came in and
yeah,
saved his life, and then he came and helped him, and now he's just gonna like challenge him for it.
yeah. It just feels kind of
It's
contrived.
like
yeah,
it's kind
yeah,
of like feels like when two heroes are fighting for like no reason. That's kind of what it felt like.
yeah. That this scene, yeah, something about it just yeah.
You know what it is? It's Disney giving us our 2 action scenes an episode quota, is what it feels like.
Maybe, yeah.
Right, but
They just
I
have to.
just wasn't a
They
fan
just
of
have
that
to.
fight.
Just have to force like. They have to force an exchange. You know.
Also, I would have been mad if they took the dark saber from him because he's not a Mandalorian. I thought that might happen, and I'm glad it didn't because I'm like, I would be so like annoyed. You know?
Yeah, man, this location is really cool though. They did a good job.
Yeah, I did like the planet, the ring planet, and then he leaves. We see him unload his arsenal. Yeah, can't
Like
speak.
even though it's clearly inspired by Halo, like it still works. Like it's still very cool.
It was, and then he comes back to Tatooine. He meets up with this lady, who I don't remember her name. It's kind of, she's
I
cool
don't
and
know.
all, but I don't want to really nitpick there. I mean, he gets the ship, and it's a pile of junk, and then they show an extensive amount of time working on it, an extensive amount of screen time.
Oh yeah, that's another criticism I have of
In
this.
this whole show, the Book of Boba Fett, there have
Gonna
been like
say it felt
so many.
like a filler episode almost because it really felt like they did not have to spend that much time um doing in such a small location doing one task. It just felt like yeah, not as like a bit lazy if I can use that word.
Yeah, like things need to be developed. Like
Yeah,
we need to be moving. Like
it's episode 5. Come on, folks.
exactly. Like we don't have time. We already spent dude, we already spent so much time on the Tuscans. Like please. Like
I know it
God.
was so many. It was such a.
You only have 7 episodes. Like it's
Yeah,
not
Yeah, and then like
much.
literally like one whole episode.
yeah, literally dragging us
So
through the
much wasted
sand.
time already.
Yeah, I wonder what the thought or the idea is when we do see scenes like this where it's just kind of it feels drawn out.
Well, it's
I
just
just don't
padding.
understand
It's just
why.
padding, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was so prevalent, and we saw that actually in the Mandalorian too. So it's not unique to this one. Like I think it was like the second or third episode where he's on that planet with the pig-faced guy, and then he's like fixing his ship for like an entire episode and learning to ride a bantha or something.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like
Ooh,
that
you
was
know what it
pretty.
feels like? You know what it feels like, Ben? It feels like when you're watching an anime, and especially an anime by Toei, and like say you read a scene in the manga and it goes like really quickly, but an anime will like really draw out the scene to really milk out as much animation time as they can from it. It basically in order to like it's like artificial filler. Do you know scenes I'm talking about where like like say you're watching One Piece, right? And say a character walks through the door. Like in the manga, the character will walk through the door, say hi, and everybody will like still converse. But in an anime, the character will walk through the door. It'll show my reaction. It'll show your reaction. It'll show Zoltan's reaction. We'll look at each other and then we'll say hi. You see the difference? Like it's like there's a lot of padding because obviously it's to their advantage because the more padding that they have, um, it helps them with the pacing. It helps them not get close to the most recent manga chapter. Um, do you understand my point that I'm making here?
Ben, I think it muted him again.
That's weird that it does that. It shouldn't do that. he's gonna leave and come back. It seems.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I heard everything you said, and yes, I agree 110%. That's literally
Okay,
what came to mind. Yeah.
Okay, and I just want to say on that note that this season should have been twice the length if they were going to do twice the amount of content. Like literally. Like
Dude,
if they were going to do this with like the Tuscans and now this, it's like how on earth are they going to finish everything that's unveiled in these last 2 episodes?
I guess
They're
they're not in a
one
rush.
episode.
Dude, and it is the pacing and the positioning of the flashbacks, man. Like if you're gonna do a flashback, you either do it in the beginning to show like a chronological order of events, or you save it all at once at the end where you're like, why does Boba have this motivation? And then you get a flashback arc to explain.
Not after we're like
You don't haphazardly put flashbacks in episodes like at random seemingly to like explain it. Like that just makes everything a mess. Like you need to be establishing this world that you're building, you know? Like as your audience, we need to have a clear picture of what is going on. Like we need to understand who's in power, who wants power, like what are the positioning of everyone who would obviously scramble for Jabba's power. Like, but we don't get any of that. Like we get some of it with like the twins, for example. But the moment that starts to get expanded upon, we go back to the Tuscans, and it's like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, it really
I agree. And then in addition to that, what's so annoying is that wait, somebody's echoing. Oh, now it's back now. Okay. From addition to that, what we get, like, yeah, I agree. Like, for example, in the second episode of Book of Boba Fett, we see, like, they're, like, showing, okay, why were these assassins there? And then all of a sudden it just goes to flashback. And I'm just, like, sitting through the flashback, hoping that it ends, only to see, oh, wow, this is going to go on for the whole 45 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, it's a pacing thing.
And so, yeah, this building, I do appreciate the Naboo starfighter. I do appreciate BD-1 making an appearance. I think that's BD-1. Or it's a similar style droid.
Yeah.
Which almost makes me feel like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order might tie into this. Also, she says like the Jawas are furry creatures and we see their hands. And I don't know, I just don't want to know what a Java looks like without a hood.
I agree.
Yeah, that's like sacred Star Wars lore.
Like,
we should never know what they look like.
I mean, I feel like we could have just cut to like this scene already, where he's just like putting on the final panels and call it a day. And it's funny how they're robbing. It is funny to see that the Jawas rob anything, and how she said like they'll literally steal from anyone and they don't care, because that is absolutely accurate and hilarious.
Dude, so okay, we need to address this ship.
The Starfighter?
Yeah.
It feels too much like a car with the engine and the hood.
Well, you're right, but that's not my like fundamental problem with it. What about you, Ben? Like,
what's
what do
your
you
problem with it?
Well, I do not think it fits Mando at all whatsoever. I think especially at like he's addressed that he wants to be more of like a family guy, like especially with Grogu and stuff. So you would think that you would have a vehicle like that supports that, and also all the stuff that he had in the Razor Crest. Like dude, he had so much equipment. Like he had weapons, he had a carbonite a freezing station. He had like places where he could sleep. Like where's he gonna do that in this thing? Like a single man starfighter is not fit for what he needs. Like it's not suitable for like long distance space travel. Like where's he gonna store his equipment? Like it just doesn't fit in my opinion. Like to me, this was very clearly like a look guys, like remember episode 1? Remember how cool the starfighters were? Like it just seems very out of place for me.
He did kind of mention that he wasn't happy with it. So I will admit that. And it isn't like the typical bounty hunter ship, although I think it's kind of dope, and not because it's from episode 1, but it's nice to have him have a ship that he can finally like outrun people in, like not a slow ship, and She makes a compelling argument that it's pre-Republic and Galactic Empire, so it won't show up on like scanners or something. So that actually has a pretty cool, I guess, bonus for him, and we clearly see that there's a space for Grogu in it in the cockpit.
Yeah.
That's like
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I that was the one thing that kind of bothered me. It seemed a little bit too refined for like a bounty hunter, for the gritty work that a bounty hunter does. And yeah, it low-key bothers me that like, okay, what about all this stuff? But I kind of see this as like a transient thing, like something he'll have, but it's not like his main ship. Like it can't be. It's a fighter ship. It's not really
So,
like a
dude, you're exactly right. So, like, what I was thinking would make so much more sense is like you have a ship like this inside the Razor Crest, or like inside, like you. So you have two. You have
right.
you have your main rig where you carry around all your equipment and everything that you need, the place where you're gonna sleep, and then when you have like aerodynamic, fast-paced space battles or missions that you go on, you can take this thing. But
Right.
you don't take this over the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Also, the Razor Crest blew
to
up
me,
with all his
it's like
stuff.
to me, it feels like he's going backwards. Like it feels like he already had like all these supplies, but he's moving backwards. Like he should be getting things added, not subtracted.
Okay, but keep in
Yeah.
mind they did blow up his ship, and so all that stuff that he does not have anymore.
Yeah, that's the one excuse I think is valid here, that like, okay, I get it. He's not in a place where he can set himself up
And
again.
also,
But
I think it's kind of also cool for him to have a starfighter. Like, I don't know, I think that's just kind of cool, and will show like more action-packed scenes instead of him like I can't tell you how many times where he got pulled over or couldn't outrun someone, and it was so annoying in the Mandalorian show. Also, this is a fan base. That's just my quick thought on it, but I do see your point. Like, you usually see people with a big ship, like Cad Bane's ship, or what was that? Asajj. No, it wasn't Asajj Ventress. I forget who that red. Isla Sakura's ship, that green one, which is big and has a cargo hold. Boba Fett's ship, his ship. It's generally typically a bounty hunter ship is big, so I do get what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need a big vehicle, man, to carry
Okay,
around.
and then the
all that
pod
shit.
racing throwback scene with Beggar's Canyon. What'd you think of that?
Um, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was kind of cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, referencing the the old stuff.
Although I will say, um, although he's in a starfighter, I feel like that. Well, I mean, Anakin was the only human to like successfully be able to navigate those trenches. So that's like a small thing that I thought
I
of
mean,
in my head.
Sebulba did too, honestly, until
But
like
Sebulba wasn't human though; he was, alien.
okay.
True.
Well, also
Yeah.
we could say he's a good pilot. He wasn't a starfighter like you said, so I don't know.
I don't know if he navigated the whole thing. That didn't cross my
I mean,
mind.
my
I was like,
point,
you just skipped parts that are hard.
like my point is, it took like a highly in tune force user to like be
Yeah,
able.
I mean, he also kind of flew up when things got hard, so
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay, that's fine.
This spirit too. Yeah.
But anyway, then he
just
gets
shows how-
run over, then he gets run down by the law, and then he just outruns him.
Just shows how much of a boss Anakin was. Dude, when we watched episode 1 again, oh my god, dude. Like, I think that scene of him in the pod race, that might be Anakin's best scene, dude. Like, how, like, dude, I don't know if you're aware of this, but he doesn't say, oh, okay, so you see, like, how everything looks right now? Compare this to how it looked before.
I do see your point now.
You see what I'm talking about? It looks like the budget went way down.
It might just be the planet.
Oh, man.
I wonder.
I don't think so.
I wonder if because the thing is, clearly in that previous scene with the ring, a lot of that was probably, well, I'm guessing CGI. Here, I wonder if they have like a live set, or I'm not sure. But I also know that Tatooine, I mean, in its defense, the thing that comes to mind is that Tatooine may not really have a lot going for it. It's kind of bland in terms of colors and contrasts. So I can kind of give it that it doesn't have that sci-fi, high quality, refined presentation.
And then the episode ends with Fennec. Instead of Boba, I was hoping Boba would make a cameo in his own show. But Fennec comes out and says Boba could use your help.
Dude, the best episode of Book of Boba did not have a single moment of Boba in it. Jeez.
Is that foreshadowing your opinion on episode 6?
Well, so I will say that episode 5, in my opinion, is the best one of Book of Boba Fett.
Okay.
Yeah. I think 5. I think while 5 has its flaws, is definitely, like, even in terms of the Mando episodes, I think this one would rank highly among the Mando episodes.
I agree with that.
I mean, for me, I remember the end of, was it season 1 or season 2? I really enjoyed those. Well, both endings of both seasons.
Yeah,
because I think there was a lot of tension points that kind of came together. And which is what I kind of sensed in episode 6. There are a lot of different tension points that are explored without detracting from the pacing. And putting it all together, I felt kind of immersed in these different scenarios and the different characters and what was at stake. And I also know that something is coming where things will have to converge. So there's kind of that anticipation that I kind of liked about episode 6. Episode 5, what I appreciate about it is that it's kind of back to, here's what a bounty hunter does. And here's what they go through. If they wreck their ship, they're going to need a new one. If they have some order that they're part of, they have to go pay respects. If they have a bounty to get, they have to go do that. So that's kind of how I see episode 5 and episode 6.
Okay.
I think we discussed episode 5.
I think so too. Overall, definitely. Well, I guess I already said it. Definitely much better than the rest of the Boba episodes. I'm looking forward to talking about 6. I have a lot to say. It's gonna be fun. Also, the new episode comes out when?
Tomorrow, literally.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys want to react to that.
I do. I really am excited for it, only because I mean, we can talk about Cad Bane and all the other things that transpired in episode 6.
Yeah.
I really do want to see that culmination point, but I really feel like, unfortunately, it's going to be too rushed because they only have one episode to unpack something that should have happened earlier in the season. Like, this episode of Mandalorian should have been like episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett, and the Cad Bane should have been 4. So we have like 5, 6, and 7, like we did with the Mandalorian, to take care of the mess.
Because, dude, if you think about it, even though the Mando stuff was good this episode, you did not have to show that. All you had to do was have Fennec call, and Mando shows up. Like, you don't have to show this entire thing.
I think if we showed maybe just like the Butcher scene and the space planet, and that's it. And then it goes back to Boba Fett instead of the Mandalorian. So like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean the way that this episode is framed, I really do believe like that this was a Mandalorian episode,
which was great, like we all said.
Yeah, it's much better. It's much better.
But also, but I think if once he gets to Tatooine, he's immediately contacted by Boba Fett. I think that might have been a better, also a better thing, right? Maybe a better way of doing it.
Right.
Like, instead of having him have the whole episode, it's 10 minutes. And what do we miss then? The Starfighter?
Well, my point, the whole reason I brought up that point was this show is called Book of Boba Fett. Like, you should be concentrating on that character and then have the Mandalorian be a cameo. Like all that development that we got, Mando already has a show, Like, we need to be spending that time expanding and, like, delving into Boba's situation and his character. It's just, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think there's anything they can do now to, like, save it, because
that's what I'm thinking. So two things. Yeah, the two things is that I don't think Boba had so far, a lot of development to kind of explore. Because I think it's fine if you have like a side character that you kind of explore in the series, but because this side character has his own show, it kind of there's this conflict of interest going on, and it makes me wonder if they might converge the shows or something
And
at some point, but I don't know.
And by the way, episode 6 does this too. Like, Boba is
True.
like in
Yeah.
episode 6, so it's 2 episodes,
That
dude.
really don't address Boba Fett at
Two
all.
out of 7, dude. And they already wasted so much time.
They already
Like,
did, and that's the thing. It was kind of funny to see, but I saw a meme and it said breaking Boba Fett to make cameo in episode of Book of Boba
Yeah.
Fett. And I think in like episode 6, he actually does show up at one point towards the end.
Yeah, you do see him, yeah. It just makes me wonder like what the game plan is, cuz yeah, I know Disney has all these Star Wars series being released, and it kind of makes me wonder what the overarching like plot
they're,
or point
they're
is.
definitely gonna do like a Defenders or an Avengers type situation where they
I
all
wonder.
team up together to fight a big bad.
You think so?
Probably. I mean, that
Yeah,
seems to be
that worked before for Marvel.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily work.
Well, it's not just Marvel that does it, right? Like Marvel did. Okay, so Marvel did it with the Avengers. Then they did it with their TV series with the Defenders. Then CW did it with their CW
DC
um,
characters.
DC characters. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a very popular. I mean, that seems to be what they're doing. That seems to
But
be.
I think
you
it
know,
has to be done right.
they're crossing over. Ahsoka's getting her own show. She's in these shows. Everybody's crossing over. Like to me, it seems obvious to me that
And
that's what they're getting ready for.
I think if it's done right, it could be very good.
But then it's just hilarious because it's all leading to the sequels.
Yeah,
So
it is
it's all
leading to
leading.
that. But I
It's all
almost
leading
wonder
to
if they're going to
catastrophe.
change
So
the sequels like they said that they might.
yeah, right. No chance. No chance they decanonize them, dude. Even in episode 6, like the Jedi Temple looks exactly like it did in 8, or like it looks like, it looks, it's gonna happen. It's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
happen.
just sad that that's what we got. But
Yeah, and it just removes any and all investment, honestly, because it's just heading into a catastrophe.
and I feel like with these shows, they're like trying to kind of revive the fan base, and they're doing an okay job. And I say that
They know people like us will watch it regardless.
and that's the thing. And then, oh my gosh, I have to just mention something. So I was having a conversation with someone about this, and this is a Disney fan, and the thing that was said was, "Oh, um, I didn't enjoy episode 6 because Baby Grogu has to make a choice, and Luke is like doing this, and how come Luke is just being selfish and."
Interesting.
And this was the person's
Oh my
solid.
god! Do not even get me started with that scene,
Wait, really? You agree with that?
dude. How can how can you have a baby make a decision with like such monumental impact, dude?
Okay,
Like,
well, he's 50.
he's a baby. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what he's saying, dude. Like, it doesn't matter if he's 50.
That's a bit questionable because I don't know.
What matters is his biological age, not like the amount of years he's been alive. Like it's his maturity, like that's independent of that. And he's a baby. Like he's always been shown a baby. Like he doesn't know anything. So like how can you like present a baby with like such a massive decision when it probably doesn't even comprehend the gravity of the situation. Like,
The way that
it's just
Ahsoka
so
and
dumb.
wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Or okay.
We can hear you,
The
we're just
way
ignoring you.
gee, thanks.
I just
The way
wanted to
that I
finish. I just wanted to finish. as well.
yeah. The way that I interpret that is because the way that Ahsoka and Luke have talked about Grogu, I kind of scratch my head at that too. Like, okay, this guy's pretty young. Why are they talking about him like he has what is it, sentience, or he's self-aware. And I kind of wonder if the way that he acts or carries himself in some ways is kind of like a baby, but in other ways they understand that he does have knowledge, um, because it seems like they acknowledge that his memories have, there's some compromise there. But I
Protect
also like,
himself.
I feel like, well, maybe I've already been quote unquote brainwashed, and I think, well, if Luke and Ahsoka are talking to him like that, then maybe he is, mature in some ways. But just looking at it initially, it is a bit jarring because it's like I don't think he knows what's up and what's down.
Dude,
But yet, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely not, man. Like he has purely been shown as having an infantile nature during his
Right.
entire inception.
Hmm.
Like that was one of the strongest
Okay.
criticisms I have of that episode.
Well,
It's just
Mm,
so
okay,
dumb.
okay.
let me
Hmm.
let me backtrack a bit on that because I do agree we see that, but then you see him meditating with Luke, you see him training with him, and then you see that all of a sudden he can use a force jump and he can vault kind of in the ways that Yoda did from, you know, little
Yoda
rock to
has
little rock, and you start to see him kind of in a way grow up and act a lot more mature and be able to control the force to destroy the drone as it's flying at him. And so I think that shows that maybe because of the situation he was in, he was kind of just in that way to
like
protect himself.
PTSD. Yeah.
Potentially. Because he was
Yeah. Yeah.
also, keep in mind, he said he trained, um, Ahsoka said that he trained with Master Yoda in the Jedi Temple as a child. So, also, for what it's worth, Jedi have been notorious for making children make decisions. So,
That's
that is,
true.
in a way, the Jedi way.
Wait. Say it one more time.
The Jedi are notorious for making children make these types of decisions. Like they start
Really?
training them very young. They did the same thing with Anakin.
Anakin had to, yeah, and I guess if they recruit them young, yeah.
Anakin had
Wait,
to choose over his
what decision did they make? Was Anakin? I'm confused.
leave your mom or stay with us or come train and be a Jedi. Like stay with your mom or become a
Okay,
Jedi.
want to know the difference? Anakin is not an infant. Like Anakin can understand
True.
the
He
choice
was like
there.
8, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and he had a decision, like either be a slave or go and like be a cool
That's
space
true.
wizard. Like I don't know, like I would choose to go out and be a cool space wizard too. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
that's true. That's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if Baby
Eh,
Guru had been in the Jedi Temple training, then maybe he was at the point where he could. I don't know. I'm just saying.
yeah. That's
No,
I. Yeah.
that is not no. That's not working.
Hmm. I see both sides of the argument. For me, initially, I kind of took it as it is. If I do stop and think about it, like for example, when I first saw Grogu, if you would have told me that Luke would have put this decision before him, I'd be like, nah, he too young. He doesn't know like how to handle that. It's because I've been conditioned to believe that he is mature in some ways, just because of how they've been talking about him. So maybe I don't know if it's one of those things where later on we'll see that maybe he is more mature when his memories or whatever get back. But yeah, in terms of chronology and how they sequence it, I could definitely see why someone would have a problem with posing that type of question. The other thing too is that I know Luke might be a little bit nervous about training someone who has connections, just because like for a Jedi that can be a detrimental thing. So but then to pose a question to a young child, like what else would he have done? Like just
Hmm.
continue training him when he was like in a distracted state of mind. He also knows that he has to restore the memories somehow, but you don't want to force him to do something his heart is not in, which is what Luke specifically said. So it is kind of like, and plus Luke even asked Ahsoka, "What do you think?" So maybe it is kind of a stumper, but sometimes if you put a choice before a baby, the baby's gonna go with the gut instinct, even if the baby doesn't know any better, and maybe from that you can kind of work from there. Um, but yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Well, okay. So you remember how you said earlier,
Hmm.
that the way that they talk about Grogu, the way that they
Hmm.
talk about him might indicate that he's more mature than he lets on. What my question is, what actions has he done that would even begin like get you to suspect that? That
The Jedi Temple. I mean, the Jedi training. Really, that's mostly it. The what's been established in the Jedi training.
which is
It
what?
seems that there.
Oh, well, I was just saying the way he was moving, the way he
Like
was
his
learning to
knowledge of the
control his
Force, pretty
force,
much.
his
But
knowledge.
how does
Yeah,
that? But how does that indicate like his psychological maturity to like make a decision like that?
well, if he's like what Luke was saying, that he's remembering more, he's not really training him, so maybe that's a big part of it.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
I mean, I don't think there is, like, in terms of maturity, we haven't seen a lot of that. The way that they talk about him is kind of like almost like they know his past. But it all because through the Mandalorians or through Din's lens, he's just an infant. But through their lens, they see something more. And I don't know, for the audience, it's kind of hard to pick one or the other because I don't think Ahsoka and Luke are dumb. I
I don't
think
think
they know
it's
what
hard,
they're talking
man.
about.
I don't think it's hard. I see zero evidence of supporting that, so I don't think it's hard at all.
Okay, but this whole conversation started because I was trying to make not to derail it. I do see your point, but I wouldn't put it past the Jedi to ask someone to make a decision like that from what we've seen before. And it's
I never
also
saw
like this
a
guy's
baby.
50, and he's already 50 years old. For
Dude,
crying out loud.
you say that he's 50, but
No, I mean like he is a baby, like infantile nature. I do agree with that, but it's like if a force sensitive being like this who has these powers and this level of force sensitivity at this point in his life, like how much longer would they have to wait? Like 50
no,
more
dude.
years?
Dude, when you're a parent, you don't let your kid like make these massive, huge decisions. Like the whole point of being a parent is you guide them through it and make the decisions. Like, no, you're going to school. Like, of course you're going to school. Like,
Right.
I don't care if you don't want to. You are. Like, that's how it is.
Mhm.
Because they don't know any better. You know,
I
like
guess
they don't.
maybe
So like, and obviously, like if this story wants to be relatable in some
Right.
way, then
Mhm.
then that was something that you would easily be able to incorporate. But it's
I can
not.
agree with
Like,
that.
it's just so like. I mean, it's very unfortunately, it's very much in character with the
Yeah.
new Luke Skywalker to like ask such a dumb question, dude. Like, it's a baby. It cannot decide. It cannot decide that, dude. It's a
Yeah.
baby. Like,
I can
what?
I can
I'm so
definitely say,
confused.
yeah, I kind of see that point now, I guess more clearly that um there's more that could have been fleshed out for Grogu because now the audience is kind of forced to accept that someone who's been displaying infantile, characteristics, now they have to make a decision like that. And it is, yeah, I can definitely see that that's um a little bit like, what?
But
Really?
Ben, imagine you had a nephew, right? And he was
Mhm.
just born, and it was like a couple months old, and you put two things in front of the nephew, right? You put a GameCube controller and you put a baseball, and then you say, okay, nephew, whichever one that you prefer, that's going to be the one that you orient your entire life around. Okay,
Mhm.
so so go ahead, choose, but be wise. You must be certain. And the whole time, the baby is just like not even comprehending. Like, all it's concerned about is where the next meal is coming from. Like,
Yeah.
it's not concerned with these life changing, like, grand questions about where to orient your life. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
it's just, dude, I swear,
I,
if you start to think about it, the more you start to
yeah.
think about it, the worse it becomes. Like,
Yeah, it looks kind of premature. That one I'll put in my back pocket, like, okay, hopefully they're gonna expand on this or maybe try to backtrack. But yeah, I can definitely see that.
I guess yeah. I guess the thing is, it's more of like I get that it didn't even cross my mind to that extent, but I see what you're saying. I
Yeah.
think maybe a little bit is trying to test where his heart lies, and if you throw force into it, and say like, is he picking the force over that, and adding force sensitivity, I think just makes it a little bit better. But yeah,
Yeah, it's still, yeah, based on what they showed us, yeah, I can definitely um see that. Yeah.
but I guess what I was trying to get at was like we see the Disney Star Wars fans, like the Disney fans who also watch Star Wars. I sense
Yeah.
that the reasoning, your reasoning is a little bit different, but those
Hmm.
people, kind of start to think, oh, why are they making baby Grogu pick? I like him. He's cute. Like the whole like I
Yeah.
don't like Luke for that. Like, but not for the reason you don't like Luke, but for a different reason, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I guess when there's like less drama or less things at stake. I know some people like that. They like to watch things to unwind, not really get riled up.
Well, I mean
So,
more of that. It's kind of like you see it being tailored, and you see these Disney fans who actually would probably unironically like the new Star Wars movies. Like I know somebody who started with those movies, and I was like, "What?"
Oh my god, I'm
I
sorry.
I kid you not.
I mean,
But
honestly, if that's how they start Star Wars, then I can see that them liking it because maybe they don't have the history and the lore to go
no,
back
and I'm saying if
from.
it's
So,
tailored to that audience,
yeah,
and then we
which,
see Baby
yeah.
Grogu, and I liked him.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, I did, but I felt like he really derailed the whole purpose of the show
Mhm.
in a
Bro,
way.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Starting Star Wars with the sequels. Oh,
I know,
fate. A
but
fate
like,
worse than
okay,
death.
but like, remember the Mandalorian episode 1 and how we think it's gonna be this cool bounty hunter show, and then there are some because of Baby Grogu. In some ways, it gets derailed quite a bit.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
he gets soft, as Fennec said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that What are your predictions for tomorrow? Is Baby Grogu gonna join the Mandalorian, or is he gonna pick the other one?
I think he's definitely gonna join the Mandalorian, and you know why?
The ship has two.
Yes, but also for another big reason.
Um,
Can you guess what it is?
The armor, the Mandalorian season 3
No,
fans.
no.
I can't think of it. No.
Because if he stays with Luke, then he's gonna get killed by Kylo, and we can't have that.
Oh, I was thinking that. I was wondering if like, oh, does he not survive?
Obviously, that's what would happen.
Or that does happen.
Yeah.
Which, well,
Which would be
Lamar.
Well,
pretty
Kylo's not until still further in the future, so we can still have a Book of Boba and Mandalorian with Grogu.
I wish he would choose to be trained with Luke, honestly.
I don't think he will.
But if you had to pick, which one would you wish?
Do I wish? Well, I guess. Well, I mean, he would have to go with Mando because if if he chooses Luke, then he'll just lead.
We don't
into
have a story.
Yeah, like it's leading into his death by Kylo, so that's not interesting. Like at least with Mando, like he gets to have a life. Like
Yeah, I did
I mean,
think
for,
of that, but
Cool.
I don't know.
I was gonna say that yeah, it's always cool when there's a Jedi character, but in terms of like for me, these Disney Star Wars spin-offs, I thought the point was kind of to explore life in the Star Wars universe, not as a Jedi. Because I think there's potential for a lot more ups and downs by default, because a Jedi's life is kind of, there shouldn't be a lot of personal drama, ideally. So
Right.
it's kind of like, but being a Jedi is cool. So it's kind of like, well, do you want the cool character or do you want different scenes and different types of struggles? So it's yeah, I don't know which one it's gonna be. Maybe a mix of both or something.
I think that we've explored Jedi and beaten it to death, especially considering
The
in
movies.
this way, especially now that there's gonna be an Obi-Wan series spin-off, which I really hope they don't make me hate Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan's character.
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, I totally agree. I think we have explored what being a Jedi, we've explored that already.
Like,
You can go to Disney World or yeah, and explore that there. And
oh
the
god,
new what is it? The attraction there, the hotel that's like several $1,000s for 2 nights or something.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know why.
I
Like
almost
Yeah.
want to go. Am I a bad person?
no, you're not a bad person. You love Star Wars, dude.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see it, but
Yeah,
You
but
bet-
I was gonna
you-
say
you-
like
you best believe that once you walk in there, you're gonna see a big old statue of Rey.
110%.
just prepare yourself.
Also, for what it's worth, I don't
be
know.
ready for that.
But I will say Star Wars Battlefront had a better story, Battlefront 2, than the new movies as well.
Oh, that version of Luke is much better.
Yeah, I think you
What are
told
we
me
talking
that,
about?
Steven.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
I was talking about Luke in Battlefront 2.
Oh, okay, like with Iden Versio and everything, right?
Yeah, he acts much more like the Luke I remember from. It's not all the way back, but it's much closer.
Also, it was funny how apparently people hated on it for what it's worth, because most of the players do not look like Iden Versio, so they had a hard time connecting with her. I personally didn't care, but that was the
Oh
consensus.
my god! Wow.
That it was a thing, like that people were upset that they always had a male character in Star Wars games, so they tried to put like a female character in, and like apparently the fans didn't like that because the most of the people who play Star Wars are dudes.
Imagine thinking like that. Like imagine thinking that a character has to look exactly like you for you to connect to them.
I
wow,
personally
I
didn't
feel
really
bad for you.
notice and didn't really care. It did feel like the hand of Disney, I guess, maybe. Fallen Order was amazing too. I mean, we can talk about that too. I don't know.
Well, Battlefront 2 was hella disappointing to me because the whole thing was that it was marketed as like, oh, cool, we get to see it from the Empire perspective. We get to be the bad guys, quote unquote. And then, not even halfway into the game, you're a good guy with the rebels, and it's like lame.
Yeah.
Although the story was really cool, I will say that. I do agree it was like the defect story again, and I'm just like, boy.
Dude, I don't know about you, but Project, what's that called?
2121 or was
Project
it?
Firestorm or something?
Was it that
Inferno.
one?
No,
Yeah, Project Inferno was so dumb. That was a stupid plan.
Cinder, Operation Cinder.
Cinder, yeah, dumb
Oh,
plan.
sorry, that's in the plot of Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was
You
thinking
know
something.
what it is, man?
No, I haven't seen any of the.
Oh, listen to this. So essentially, right? Like after the Emperor is defeated, essentially what happens is like a lot of the command in the Empire deems that the best option to maintain control over the galaxy is to orbitally bombard their own planets that they control to induce fear. That's their plan. Yeah, I know. Take a minute to process that.
Ben, we can't hear you if you are.
he's taking he's taking quite a minute to process this. I understand, Ben. I understand.
No, yeah, that seems a little bit like you must have some major plot points in order to make that.
Well, I think it also does sound like something the Empire would do, though.
What? No, absolutely not. That is even when Palpatine was controlling it. Like his whole thing was that
Dude,
he
they built
wanted
a second Death Star with the same major flaw.
Well, wait, what?
They built a second Death Star with the same major flaw.
No, the flaw was different.
They just had a shield. Maybe I haven't.
It had a flaw, but it was of a different nature.
The bomb.
So not only did they have to disable the shield, but they had to fly into the superstructure itself and like target like a very specific.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I criticized the hell out of the second Death Star. I think as an idea, I think we should have. I think we should have did something else. I was like,
Honestly, I grew up with that, and I'm not gonna criticize
he's
Death
done this
Star.
already, you know.
I'm not gonna criticize the second Death Star.
Oh, okay, I'll criticize it for you. No
Maybe
worries.
not today. Maybe not today. At this point, we've pretty much discussed the second episode too, so I mean, we might as well finish discussing it.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Return of the Jedi, but man, that movie has quite a bit of problems.
Yeah, I didn't realize them growing up, but yeah, looking back, it's easy to pinpoint now.
Sighs audibly.
But it's cool because it makes you appreciate Empire more. Like it makes you. Oh my god, dude, that movie is iron tight. Wow, it's amazing. Even viewing it in like a hypercritical eye, my god, that movie is amazing.
I don't think you have another eye.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I think it's very insightful. But I was just.
I don't know, man. What can I say? I just noticed a lot of things. I just noticed. I'm very passionate about the story, and I want to see it done justice. And I notice a lot. I notice a lot when I watch it.
And that's why you're on the podcast. But basically, yeah. So I guess, do you understand the reasoning though, or my concern with the Disney fans, the way they see Baby Grogu as like that's the main thing bringing them to Star Wars in a way?
Yeah, because they like it for like,
The cute factor.
yeah,
I mean, I did.
and it's hilarious because that's not even like what's good about it.
I know, and I do, and I was almost kind of hoping for a season of Mandalorian without Grogu. Not gonna lie.
That would be interesting, yeah. If he chooses to go with Luke, maybe
Like
that is a
if he could have done that
possibility.
choice later.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just changes his mind later on because he's
Yeah,
a baby.
Yeah, any of that, any of that. I would
You
take any of
know?
that and bringing him back to the show immediately for the next season. It's almost like they don't think that they can get by without Baby Grogu in the next season.
And you know what? Another thing, it's like, Luke, by the time this baby is 5, you'll be dead. Like, you know? Because if you think about it, the
Isn't
way
it like
that
30 years before The Force Awakens?
well, I think it's something like that. But the way that Yoda's race is for every 10 years of ours, it's one of theirs. Because Yoda died at 900, which is like 90, you know, which is like
Mhm.
that's how I translate it. So
Yeah. So he's like 5 now then.
It's 9 ABY after the Battle of Yavin. That's when Mandalorian Season 2 takes place. So even if Boba Fett is 1 year later, that's 5 years after the Return of Jedi, or 6.
Oh,
9
Ben.
after-
Ben, you're right.
So
No,
30
yeah.
years before The Force Awakens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ben, you're right. That
85.
ratio doesn't check out because because Grogu's what, like 50 something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so according to that past calculation, he would be like 5, which he's very clearly not. Like he's 1 at the most in terms of like human years. You know,
Mhm.
he's like super baby mode.
Yeah, I keep thinking that he's supposed to be able to talk at some point.
Definitely not.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's
you're right. He can't talk.
Well, he should
That's
at
the
some
main point.
point.
He's just cooing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely
that's what I'm saying.
overlooked that. I mean, maybe he's like 1. Yeah,
But
1.
he still understands what. Well, I think he understands what people are.
But
Well, actually, no. In Mando season 1, I don't know if he understood as much. Yeah, he's hard to read. Yeah.
Like, dude, you're like, yeah, like this baby cannot even form words, and you're asking him to make this massive decision. I don't know. It's just, I know I'm going back to it, but that's because of how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It doesn't have to be this way.
Okay. Also, now that we're talking about that, that we've pretty much addressed most of what happens in episode episode 5 or 6 at this point.
True. Well, actually, I don't even think we did. I think we just talked mostly about Luke and Grogu.
Well, that whole scene and the decision. But what'd you think of that?
Of what?
Of that episode? Because you said LOL. I thought it was good. Like.
Oh well, I put the LOL mostly for like what we just talked about with the Luke and Grogu stuff.
Other than that,
Cad Bane looked really awesome in my opinion.
I have to, man, I have to go back and go over the plot points, but I do not have that luxury because I have to go to sleep now.
I get it.
True.
Do you think we can? Do we have time to do this tomorrow? Is the question.
What tomorrow's what? Tuesday? No,
Wednesday.
I'm down. But we would have to do it like, man, we got to make sure this thing's a lot smoother, man.
100%.
I'm not gonna lie, I agree.
I agree. I was not expecting that many issues.
Yeah.
And then also and then also we started a lot later than we planned on. I think we started at like 9:30.
So how about this? We'll plan for tomorrow. We'll just text in the group chat if anything changes.
Okay. I'm also letting the fans know. This was a lot of fun. Yeah. I do want to figure out why I can't stream it and see if there's a workaround, because I would love to stream the next 2 episodes if we can. Yeah. Do we think maybe 7 p.m. for reals though?
Tentatively yes.
Okay, cool.